for tuning in. We really got some pretty special stuff for you today. It's exciting.
And
have you ever been to a Chinese place, and I mean like a restaurant, and then you look up, you know, at the menu, and there are all those options and stuff, and a lot of it's stuff you've never even tried. I mean, seriously, who's ever had like mugu gai pan? Like, what the heck is that? Like sa cha chicken. I mean, what would that be? Do they go to the sa cha grove and pick a sa cha off a sa cha tree and then like chicken it up somehow? Or Happy Family, like, I don't know what that is. I think that there should be some kind of solution to this. My first thought is that Chinese places could have a platter of like all the stuff you never order. Like, everybody pretty much orders General Tso's chicken, like sesame chicken, which is sometimes the same thing as that, or orange chicken. And every once in a while you'll have some kind of weird health nut that gets like the chicken and broccoli. Chinese places could have like a stuff you never eat sampler, and you could order it to make sure that you haven't been eating the wrong thing all this time. I suppose one option is that you could kind of look at the people that do order those things and then ask yourself, are you one of those people? I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not a mugu gai pan guy. I'm really not from a Happy Family, and I don't like do the sa cha like a sissy girl. Also, I think we need to save the rainforest by eliminating Chinese restaurant menus altogether. I mean, they all have the same thing.
And
jazz hands.
And
now, a lot of you probably don't know that this vlog is actually sponsored by Markster Energy. I have a pretty good buddy that does some work with them. His official position is rethinker. Basically, he takes thoughts that have never been thought before and he rethinks them. Alright, let's just call my friend Preston up real quick. Alright, we got him live. Alright, Preston, you're live on the road. How does it look? What are you experiencing right now?
so I was just thinking about how weird it is to have like trees and bushes and shrubs and plants outside around your house. I mean, it's so weird because who thought of that and said, hey, I just want to put plants there and trees? But on the other hand, if you see a house without it, we've been conditioned so much that nowadays that if a house doesn't have that foliage and shrubbery and bushes and plants outside it looks barren. I don't know, just a thought.
And now I recognize that a lot of you might have crappy cars out there. Be honest, is it kind of a junker? Thanks, Obama. Well, don't worry, I'm kind of in the same boat as you guys, except my crappy car is amazing. Right now, I am the proud owner of a 95 Subaru wagon. Now, I have a friend, and he's pretty well off, and he has like a brand new Mustang, and I've been thinking about it, and I'm going to irrefutably prove that my car is better than his. Now you may think, how is this possible, M3? Coolness is but one factor in the entire process of determining the real tangible value of a car. And we're gonna go over all the other factors, and then we're gonna plug it into the algorithm, and then we're gonna get a result that proves my point. And listen, this probably applies to your car as well, so think of this as an empowering moment for you. Now, the first and probably most obviously salient factor would have to be price. My car cost me $1,000 cash, plus I traded the guy a 7-Up machine, because I used to have a vending business. It's a long story. Now, the Mustang usually is gonna cost you at least $25,000, but could be even more, maybe $50,000, depending on what all the packages and engine types and all that kind of stuff. It could get expensive real quick. So the thing you gotta factor in is all of these factors have to be 25 times better, at least, in order to be the same amount of value. The next factor has got to be overall utility, meaning all the things that you could possibly ever do with this vehicle. Now there are definitely some things you can do with a pretty fast Mustang that you can't do with my Subaru. I think my Subaru probably isn't going to be able to go much more than 100, 120 miles per hour. A nice Mustang or something, it can get pretty fast. Yeah, it's a pretty fast car. But for the most part, what you actually end up doing with it is kind of what's important. If we're calling the Mustang a 100, I'm gonna say my Subaru is about a 95. Now to be fair, let's do the other factor that's probably more in the Mustang's favor. Coolness. The Mustang gets a coolness score of about 45%. I get about a 12%. It's kind of a piece of crap. You know, if it was a marine ecosystem, it would be the guppy. For visual comparison, this is what the Mustang looks like, and this is what my beautiful, amazing Subaru looks like. Alright, there you go. Another factor that the Mustang would almost certainly beat my car in is reliability. We're gonna say the Mustang probably has a reliability of like 95%. And this is under normal conditions. Now about every 3 months I've got to get something fixed on my car. The average repair is somewhere around the 100, 150 range or something like that, maybe 200. But we're gonna say my car has a reliability of about 35%. Now one category that my Subaru really dominates in is cargo room. It's a hatchback wagon. It's got a decent bit of room. It's not like a full-size van or anything, but you can fit a lot of crap in it. Whereas the Mustang has a pretty dinky little, you know, cabin space going on. I'm gonna say it's about a 15%. Like a 0 on this would be like a Formula 1 car. A 100% on this would be like a Sprinter van or maybe a semi or something like that. So I feel pretty comfortable giving my Subaru, you know, about a 65. And we're thinking about what the average person kind of drives. Like people do drive vans. It's a little bit subjective, but it's not totally subjective. Now my Subaru really dominates when it comes to gas mileage. It's 95, but for the era, it was pretty dang amazing. It'll get about 30, 35 combined, something like that. It's a little 4-banger. Now, a new Mustang is definitely gonna have better, you know, mileage than like a vintage Mustang or something, but I looked it up and it's about 24 combined, something like that. Now, this is a category that I personally came up with. We're gonna call it aesthetic permanence. What it means is basically how likely it is to continue looking like it does. Now, with the Mustang, it's perfect, it's brand new. Anything that happens to it is going to really impact what it looks like. A little ding, a little scratch, fender bender, accident, it's all gonna affect it pretty profoundly. So we're gonna say it has an aesthetic permanence factor of 15%. There's a lot to lose when you look nice. Whereas with my Subaru, it looks like a piece of crap anyway. I bought it that way. It's got a bunch of dents, it's got scratches, there's a little crack on the windshield. So it's probably gonna continue at the same level of aesthetic value, if you wanna call it that, for a long time. So I'm giving it an aesthetic permanence score of 95%. That's baller. So the end result of all this, we're gonna call it financial effectiveness, meaning how effectively your money is actually spent, which is how any business or really any person should think about their money. So my Subaru gets the amazing, glaringly victorious financial effectiveness score of a well-managed hedge fund. Whereas the brand new neon orange Mustang gets a financial effectiveness score of a gold-plated toilet.
And
so anyway, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to look at my word thoughts. Likey, subscribey. Most importantly, I will see you later on the dramatic catchphrase. Jazz hands.